Chapter 1, verse 7.
The path of those upon whom you have bestowed favor.
In the previous verse, a Muslim requests Allah, the Exalted, to guide them on the straight path which leads to paradise. Chapter 1 Al-Fatihah, verse 6.
Guide us to the straight path.
Verse 7 further explains the straight path and mentions the incorrect paths which were taken by the previous nations. The interpretation of the first part of this verse is done by another verse of the Holy Quran, chapter 4 An-Nisa, verse 69.
And whoever obeys Allah and the Messenger, those will be with the ones upon whom Allah has bestowed favor of the prophets, the steadfast affirmers of truth, the martyrs and the righteous.
Verse 7 highlights an important reality, namely, one can only find and journey down the correct path, without straying off course, through the mercy and guidance of Allah, the Exalted. Those who have been rightly guided are the ones who strive in obedience to Allah, the Exalted, by fulfilling His commands, refraining from His prohibitions, and by facing destiny with patience. This is in fact the path of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. So it is clear that a Muslim cannot be one of the rightly guided, mentioned in this verse, without practically following the footsteps of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Chapter 3 Al-Imran, verse 31.
Say, if you should love Allah, then follow me, so Allah will love you and forgive you your sins.
Chapter 1, verse 7.
The path of those upon whom you have bestowed favor.
This supplication makes it clear that the sincere obedient servants such as the holy prophets, peace be upon them, are the ones that must be followed. This indicates the importance of studying and acting on the teachings found within the lives of the righteous servants of Allah, the Exalted. The Holy Quran itself does this by mentioning many holy prophets, peace be upon them, and some of the important lessons one can learn from their behavior and lives. But an important thing must be noted, namely, a Muslim should not study the lives of the righteous servants of Allah, the Exalted, only to learn about fascinating stories about them. Unfortunately, this attitude has become extremely popular among Muslims and even scholars who only study the lives of the righteous servants of Allah, the Exalted, in order to entertain themselves and others with fascinating stories connected to them. Their aim is to entertain and be entertained, whereas their intention should be to learn about the noble character of the righteous servants of Allah, the Exalted, which includes their behavior and obedience to Allah, the Exalted, and their good conduct towards the creation. When one increases their sincere obedience to Allah, the Exalted, by studying and following in the footsteps of the righteous servants of Allah, the Exalted, then, and only then, have they fulfilled the supplication mentioned in this verse. Chapter 1, verse 7.
The path of those upon whom you have bestowed favor.
Understanding that right guidance is a favor of Allah, the Exalted, encourages humility. The servants of Allah, the Exalted, have understood that anything good they possess is solely because Allah, the Exalted, granted it to them. And any evil they are saved from is because Allah, the Exalted, protected them. Is it not foolish to be proud of something that does not belong to someone? Just like a person does not boast about a sports car which does not belong to them, Muslims must realize nothing in reality belongs to them. This attitude ensures one remains humble at all times. The humble servants of Allah, the Exalted, fully believe in the Hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, found in Sahih Baqarah, number 5673, which declares that the righteous deeds of a person will not take them to paradise. Only the mercy of Allah, the Exalted, can cause this to occur. This is because every righteous deed is only possible when Allah, the Exalted, provides one with the knowledge, strength, opportunity and inspiration to perform it. Even the acceptance of the deed is dependent on the mercy of Allah, the Exalted. When one bears this in mind, it saves them from pride and inspires them to adopt humility. One should always remember that being humble is not a sign of weakness, as Islam has encouraged one to defend themselves if necessary. In other words, Islam teaches Muslims to be humble without weakness. In fact, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, has confirmed in a hadith found in Jami at-Tirmidhi, number 2029, that whoever humbles themselves before Allah, the Exalted, will be raised by him. So in reality, humility leads to honor in both worlds. One only needs to reflect on the most humble of the creation to understand this fact, namely, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Allah, the Exalted, has clearly ordered people by ordering the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, to adopt this important quality. Chapter 26 Ash-Shu'ara, verse 215.
And lower your wing, i.e., show kindness, to those who follow you of the believers.
The Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, led a humble life. For example, he happily carried out the domestic duties at home, thereby proving these chores are gender neutral. This is confirmed in Imam Bukhari's Adab al-Mufrad, number 538. Humility is an inner characteristic that manifests outwards, such as the way one walks. This is discussed in another verse, chapter 31 Luqman, verse 18.
And do not turn your cheek, in contempt, toward people, and do not walk through the earth exultantly.
Allah, the Exalted, has made it clear that paradise is for the humble servants who possess no trace of pride. Chapter 28 Al-Qasas, verse 83.
That home of the hereafter we assign to those who do not desire exaltedness upon the earth or corruption. And the best outcome is for the righteous.
In fact, the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, has confirmed in a hadith found in Jami at-Tirmidhi, number 1998, that whoever possesses an atom's worth of pride will not enter paradise. Only Allah, the Exalted, has the right to be proud, as He is the creator, sustainer and owner of the entire universe. It is important to note, pride is when one believes they are superior to others and rejects the truth when it is presented to them, as they dislike accepting the truth when it comes from other than them. This is confirmed in a hadith found in Sunan Abu Dawud, number 4092.
Over 400 free eBooks, audiobooks, infographics, podcasts and blogs available on our website, www.shaykhpod.com.